So we've both seen Shazam. You've seen it twice now. I saw it
Oh
today.
yeah.
You've seen it for the second time today. And my only
hmm
question after watching this is, did we just watch the best superhero movie ever made? Because, wow, that was really good.
Right? Yeah, like the whole addition of a team didn't feel too forced or rushed. Really,
No,
like
not at
it
all.
felt organic, I guess you could say. And to do it all in one movie, spectacular.
And it did all of the things that DC movies are so terrible at. You know, like, I mean, DC EU movies. It
Yeah,
it wasn't slow. It was actually a well-paced film, I thought. And
yeah.
it's still gritty, but it's not oppressive. And it's I don't know, it's fun. That's another thing
It,
that most other ones aren't.
right? Like if I had to like compare it to kind of a contemporary partner, I'd kind of pair it with like Spider-Man, just how fun it is to see you know a younger generation person taking on a superhero identity and being like excited about it and making the faults a kid would do, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Like
that's actually a really good comparison that, this is DC's Spider-Man.
I don't know about you, but I only know like so much about Shazam. Like I know
I knew almost
Black Adam
nothing.
is like Black Adam's supposed to be his big opponent and all that. So I was kind of going in like I know it wasn't Black Adam. I knew it was Doctor Savannah, but I was like, I don't know where you go from here. I mean, you got this really uh, B list, C list character that I don't know. I guess it was like seeing Marvel's Iron Man go up again. It was like seeing not a well known character, get the spotlight and doing it well.
He's a really ridiculous character, and they acknowledge that definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean like I got my powers from a space wizard. Yeah, yeah, that doesn't seem weird. So, I mean, and like fighting the seven deadly sins literally is always just fun. I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that they didn't put a lot of effort into those characters because I think it would have diluted the movie if they spent too much time on the villains.
like some of them just go too much into their background and detail, and it's like, cool, we have a fleshed out character, but we kind of went too grim and well dark for this hero. And yeah, you didn't slow down the pace with it. They were just like, the seven deadly sins, they wiped out humanity, and the wizard Shazam lost his brothers and sisters trying to capture these guys. Well, round them back up, I should say. So, they did a great job on that explanation. It was short, sweet, and to the point, and I believe less than 20 words. So, good for them.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that they avoided the dreaded DC third act, where
Oh,
it's basically giant, big battle, flashy, all of that, and the hero basically doesn't advance anything. They just, through the power of love or will, they just happen to be able to beat them, and they successfully avoided that. They actually made an interesting third act that worked really well.
I knew of the Marvel family, so it was great to see them come in, but I would not have expected them to come in so early. And I think that's what like got like most of my friends that are, huge comic book buffs, and they're just like, "Wow, awesome."
Even in my theater, and my theater was, I was at a 11:15 in the morning showing of Shazam, and people were really into it. Like, if people behind me were like, "No way!" when like the whole Marvel family showed up, they're like, "This is so cool."
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Again, yeah, no one like expects that until like, "Oh yeah, that's smart."
And it was a great way to increase the power of the group and to be able to beat them without it just being like this, I beat him because of love, or because I worked harder at it.
Right? It wasn't like, oh yeah, the love of my family has made me stronger. It's like, no, you dispersed the power among them and made them better as a whole. Like the entire group became better as a whole. So
Yeah.
it's like, good job, DC. We just sent a good, clear message.
Yeah, like, man, there's just not a lot to get upset with this film about, honestly.
I mean, the only thing I might have an issue with is the villain kind of just being, generic baddie. Beside, I mean, he's obviously our dark mirror of Billy because son that's basically been abandoned
Hmm.
or mistreated, not worthwhile, or at least been told not worthwhile, and yeah, I mean, it's a good foil, but it's like Savannah's not, I'd say, a huge villain in my book. Just the motivation is, generic
Yeah, I
almost.
mean,
But
I'd still say, though, that if you looked at several other, you know, best superhero film contenders, namely Iron Man, that I think he was still a better villain than Obadiah Stane,
oh god, yeah, that's
who's
for sure.
probably the worst villain in a great movie, a great superhero movie. I mean,
True,
he's no,
true, true.
and even then, if you want to go by having a decent backstory, you look at what's definitely one of the best superhero films, The Dark Knight, and the Joker literally has no backstory.
You're not wrong.
But I'm not trying to say that the Joker's anywhere close to this guy, because the Joker's way better than him. But I mean, yeah, I would agree that the villain's probably the weakest part. But imagine if they'd spent more time on the villain. Do you feel like that would have made a better movie in the end?
No, probably not. I mean, again, this is an origin story, so you need plenty of time for the montage of him learning his powers.
Yeah,
So,
and just developing
and
the kids more.
yeah, I mean, the main bad guy kind of took out what was necessary, or took his revenge. Pretty pretty fast in the movie. Admittedly,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
I thought it was interesting that it did feel like a world that was full of superheroes.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing with like, I mean the older Marvel movies they felt kind of desolate. Um, like let's just use like Thor 2 because it's Thor 2 or even Captain America's Winter Soldier. I mean, you feel like you should have some more heroes in this movie that can counteract, this huge villainous plot that you can call upon or something instead of just like name drops here and
I think this is a strong contender for best film of the year. I don't think it will, just because
oh
we've
yeah.
still got Infinity War. Or sorry, I said that earlier too. We've still got Endgame, and I think that will probably beat out Shazam. But I think Shazam, like, everyone that worked on this film should hold their heads high and know that they've made a
Oh
film
yeah.
that
I mean,
rivals most
and
Marvel
especially like
films.
against Captain Marvel, I'm definitely gonna say I preferred Shazam over it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Shazam
it's
was
just
definitely a
like
better
I
movie than
think
Captain
if
Marvel.
Captain Marvel didn't feel like an Iron Man origin story, it would be better. But we've kind of grown numb to this storyline, and Shazam offers something new. So yeah, it just works out better. I think if like Captain Marvel got bumped up like a few years ago, I mean it might have been fine, but against Shazam now, it's just no contest for me.
I really hope this movie does well. It deserves to do really well, and I think it's probably going to have maybe a less than stellar opening weekend, but I think it'll pick up after that because I don't think that people that see this movie are going to be able
Right?
to
Yeah.
keep quiet about it.
I'm just surprised at my own theater. It's like, uh, I went on Thursday, and I would say maybe a third of the seats were full, and I was genuinely shocked. And then I went today around 4:30. It's Saturday. Like, where is everybody? So I don't know. I really hope it does well, but like, there's just not a lot of interest, I guess, or something here. But I really do hope, like you said, that word gets out and like, yeah, let's go see it, because right now all you really have is Dumbo and Pet Cemetery as the
Yeah, there's really not a lot of great choices. I mean, everybody's avoiding Endgame. Hellboy comes out next week, but
yeah,
that's really about
definitely.
it. Shazam's basically just got to pick up before Endgame comes out, because if it doesn't pick up before Endgame, then it's
Yeah,
done.
sadly.
Like,
I really hope. I really do hope it does well.